Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival, all my fellow gremlins. Thank you for being here. All right, today I'm going to talk about something rather important. I'm going to tell you what is wrong with this nation. But first, I opened my book here to the just a random verse, and I'm going to read you a random verse just because. This is Proverbs 20, the very first verse. Wine is a scoffer, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. And yeah, I just think in these times we might need that reminder. So I decided to read it to you. All right, I got a few things to take care of before I get into telling you why the country is what's broken in the country, what's wrong with the nation. So stay tuned for that. But first, coffee. I have an announcement to make on Sunday during my normal live stream, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to have a special guest. We, the people prepping, will be here with me. This will be his first live stream, I believe, or his first interview, one of the two. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Klinger Christie, good morning. Good morning, Combat Bacon, Be Charming, Outcast, Anti-Tinfoil. I like that name. That's a good one. Jesus will rise. I prayed before this also. Patty B. I like all those green names. And just to mention for a second, I have renamed it. It was, and it's still under processing because YouTube has to process that kind of thing for some odd reason. But I have renamed it from the Coffee Club to the Gremlin Pack. Yeah, like a pack of wolves. So yeah, everybody will be gremlins in green. If anybody's interested in joining the gremlin pack, you just simply click the join button. And yeah, Virginia, thank you for the super chat and good morning. I appreciate that. Christ is the answer. Good morning. That is definitely a good name. Good morning, DC. All right, so I have a video coming up on Patreon about the vax, really, just the vax, and some of it's older information, some of it's newer information. There's a lot of information going on. I'm still in the process of editing that video, so it'll be up in an hour or so over on my Patreon. My Patreon does not have any tiers on there, so you can watch everything on it for as little as $1 a month, which is the minimum on Patreon. Or if you feel the need to, give more, that is an option. But yeah, Northwoods, Cheryl, thank you for joining. It still says Coffee Club in that thing. It does, but yeah, like I said, YouTube's processing it, so it'll be a little while before it changes over to the Gremlin Pack. Yeah, I might have to edit the name because I just put Gremlin Pack instead of the Gremlin Pack, so I might have to fix that. Yeah, if you're buffering, that is not on my end, most likely. Most likely not on my end. That's just YouTube censoring us because YouTube does that to us. It's horrible. All right, I have plans. And in this live stream, I'm going to talk a little more about the Bug Out Network. But before then, I have a plan. So I am I'm about to, as soon as I get my stimulus check, which I still haven't, I'm going to have a digital blueprint made up, a digital blueprint for something similar to this. This is my ball cap with the lights on it, and I can do better. I can do much better than this one. And yeah, this is dirty. The problem I have with this one is, it's not really the brightness. This is about 40 lumens on its maximum setting. The problem I have with this one is the batteries. The batteries, it has a battery pack there, and it takes these little round, what are these, I can't read it, 2032, these CR 2032 batteries. It takes 4 of those things, and they're expensive, and I can do much better with that. So I am going to attempt to design, working with somebody else. I think they're charging me about $100 with, I'm going to work with them to make a digital blueprint, and then I'm going to look into having a prototype made, and yeah, then I'm going to work on that. So that is future plans for this gremlin. So yeah, anyway, I think it's very useful. Anytime it's dark, I wear this thing, and not this one, because when it's dark, I use this light on here constantly. And I'm like, yeah, if I'm wearing this hat and I reach up looking for my light, and if I don't have it, and then I got to go down here to the pocket, and I got to fish this out, and then I got to make sure it's not on its 2000 lumen super bright setting and blinding me while I'm trying to open the front door. Yeah, no, it's just so much more convenient to have a light at just always ready right on your head. And I wear hats a lot just because I always have. I mean, I have pictures from when I was a kid wearing hats. It's just a thing I do. All right. Yeah, I got to check out emails. I'm getting emails. All right. So what is wrong with the nation? Oh, wait, there it is. There's Alaska Prepper. Good morning, big brother. Good morning. You're up early. You're like 4 hours behind me. What is it, like 6 a.m.? I think you're behind me. Yeah, 4 hours behind me. So good morning, big brother. Glad you could be here. So I'm going to tell everybody really quickly what I think is wrong with the nation. So yeah, this is going to tick some people off. So what's wrong with the nation is two very simple things. And the two things I think are the biggest problem in our nation right now are pizza and cheeseburgers or hamburgers. But yeah, that's what I think is wrong with the nation. Now let me explain myself and why I think it's pizza and burgers is the problem with our nation. It's because people are too comfortable. People have the ability to just order a pizza or go get a burger anytime they want. And what happens if that stops? Just those two things. Let's just say it's just those two things. The pizza, you can no longer order a pizza. You can no longer get a burger. That's when revolution will happen, because that's when people are really going to realize that, you know what, we don't have enough food. And we already don't, but as long as you can still get a pizza and a burger, people just don't realize that. People just, hey, if I can still go through the drive-thru and get a burger, we're good to go. Even if the burger cost you $15, because they're raising the hair sniffer is going to raise the minimum wage to, $15 an hour. So all those $1 burgers are going to be $15 burgers. So that being said, the pizza and the burgers are really the biggest problem we have. Now, you can point fingers at whoever you want. You can point them at the guy who was selected as in the office who can't even make a full sentence or doesn't know what day it is. You can point fingers at him and blame a lot of things on the guy, but he's not the problem. He really isn't. He's just, a puppet with some broken strings trying to hold him up while he stands in front of people and tells them about how dark the winter is because he can't only see out of one eye and everything's getting faded for him because, he has very poor health. So, yeah, you can point fingers anywhere you want. You can say it's the government. You can say it's this, that, and the other thing. But really, it's the pizza and the cheeseburgers. It really is. That's my opinion. Just keep that in mind. That's my opinion. Pizza and cheeseburgers. So in DC, the minimum is already $15 an hour. So, yeah, how much are the burgers in DC? I would hate to go through a drive-thru and see a $15, $1 burger. That would just be, yeah. yeah, Rosebud. My $15 burger better look like the one in the picture in the menu. It never does it? It never does. You know those pictures? I've seen how they make those pictures. They take a real burger and they make sure it's as perfect as they can, and then they spray some kind of a clear coat on it to make it solid so it can't be moved. And they take a razor and make everything all perfect on it and take pictures of it. It really is a real burger. Well, it used to be. Nowadays, they probably just Photoshop a burger, but whatever. The point being is it's not real in those pictures, and it never looks like that. I mean, how many times have we gone to get a burger and whoever makes it just slaps the stuff together? But why are we talking about burgers? Anyway, pizza and burgers, that's really the problem with the country. Yeah, Klinger, I really agree with you there that old Joe's going to be gone in about 100 days. He's either going to have some kind of a health crisis, he might just pass away, or he just might step down because he can no longer, form two words in a sentence. I mean, he can still make about 3 words in a sentence before he gets, confused, I guess is the best way to put it. Gets confused and his lips stop flat or keep flapping, but the words don't make any sense, because that's really how that happens. If anybody's ever seen any of his videos or him talking at all, he can never complete a sentence. It's just, yeah, how did this guy get in the office? He got there because somebody bought him and paid for him and put him there. That's just how the country works. It's worked that way for a long time. Nobody really knows how Trump actually got in, because nobody could buy him because he's got too much money for people to buy him. Staying in high for life, or staying high for life. Well, that's a, yeah, I'm just going to stay in coffee. But thank you for the super chat. Staying high for life. Um, I'm sure you're friends with Hutch Homestead, right? If not, you should go follow Hutch Homestead, because I think you guys got something in common. Yep, that is right, Klinger. If he does pass away, he'll still be voting in, the next election, 2024. I'm pretty sure everyone, even though I claim, and I say I'm not going to, and I really am not going to go vote. I'm just, what's the point? I'm not going to, but I'm sure my vote will still be cast anyway, whether I go and do it or not, because that's just how these things work. And they've proved that to us. They really did prove it. So, as long as that's how it works, what's the point? They'll vote for you. You don't have to go. Don't waste your time. So, yeah. Bucks Prepper UK, hello. And he says hi from the UK. Hello from the US, or what's left of it. What's left of it, I should say. I've been hearing a lot of reports of government officials all over the world that just are fed up with their personal situation and fed up with their own governments and just stepping down from their jobs. And people all over the world are just getting tired of their governments. They're sick of them. So, yeah, I think a worldwide movement is going to happen as soon as the pizza and the cheeseburgers run out. And this is going to happen. It is, because the World Economic Forum has said by 2030 you will eat much less meat, meaning that they're going to take away your burger. And when they start taking away the burgers, people are going to not be happy. People are going to, revolt. There's going to be riots in the streets right outside of McDonald's. People are going to be smashing McDonald's windows looking for burgers. I mean, really, these fast food chains like this, McDonald's being one of the biggest, but all of them, when they start making us eat less meat, as they claim they will do by 2030, what's going to happen to these businesses and the people that work there? I mean, really, these are minimum wage jobs anyway. And what I see is just, taking away meat's really going to hurt the economy. It really is. There's a lot of these places that are already offering the miracle or magic burger or whatever they call this thing, that it's not real meat. It's made out of bugs or whatever. I don't really know, but yeah. We the people prepping, I am not going to touch that comment. I'm not even going to read it. Nope. My live streams go into the gutter after the first, 20 minutes as it is. We don't need to start this early. Yeah, Susie, I'm sick of all the drama too. I did not watch any of it yesterday. I didn't watch any. I did watch one thing from, I think it was Right Side Broadcasting. After Trump had left DC, he went to Florida and they were there and we watched him drive by. I just don't see why. Alaska Prepper, I will never vote again until we, the people, are once again represented by a constitutional republic. Have a great day and God bless. Well, God bless you too, big brother, and I completely agree with you. There is absolutely no point to voting, but rest assured, AP, you will vote whether you show up or not, because they will, just vote whichever way they want you to. I mean, why do they even bother at this point with a vote? Why don't they just say, hey, this is the person we're putting in there? Because that's basically what they did. The vote is just for people who don't know any better to think they have a choice. That's all it is. So why not just tell them they don't have a choice? Because they're not going to do anything about it. They didn't do anything about it this time. Why would they do anything about it if you just blatantly said you don't have a choice? Here he is, or she, as it is probably going to be. Probably going to be anyway. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, it's just a bad situation. So that being said, let's talk about the Bug Out Network for just a minute. As a lot of you know, we are moving the Bug Out Network onto a what is that? Now I can't think of the words. The words have escaped me. A nonprofit organization. That's what it is. Now I want to be very clear on the nonprofit organization aspect of the Bug Out Network. This isn't going to change anything. It's not going to change the off-grid nature of the bug out locations or of the cache locations at all. Nobody is still going to know any of that. It's still doing, all that's still going through the mail. It's all going into my P.O. box, and I'm mailing things back and forth. So, that's just how that works. But what the nonprofit organization is going to do is, for me personally, Hobo Jesus, yes, a 501c3, I believe is what it is. I have help with that being set up. So I think it's a 501c of some sort. I'm just not sure exactly. But anyway, the main purpose of this is to protect me personally, because if I start getting a lot of donations coming in for this network, and I start having a lot of just things coming to me personally for this network, I'm going to have 3-letter organizations knocking on my door, handing me papers and asking me where all this money is going. No, I'm not. If I set it up as a nonprofit organization, it's going to protect me and any of the other people involved in the setup process. That is the main purpose for this. Now, there are secondary reasons for this also, because this is starting to cost money. I mean, just for the challenge coins alone, I have to order a minimum order of these things, and these are $600 for the minimum order, no matter where I get them from. So that is, beyond me to do. It really is. So I'm going to set up some sort of a platform, probably on a website, for just the sole purpose of taking donations for the network, because it is needed. At this point, it is. The mailing process is costing a bit, not too much, but the mailing process is starting to cost a bit. We still have to print out maps, we have to print out coordinates, and we have to send things. But really, one of the primary reasons for this being a nonprofit organization is so that we can have people doing certain things and be able to fund those people doing certain things. The certain things being going to each individual location with a cash ready to drop, so that they have uniform items in all of these cash locations: food, water, medicine, or something like that. We will definitely go over it and set it up properly. None of these locations are probably going to have ammunition in them, just because that's almost impossible to find. Yes, I did get my vehicle running again. The brakes are fixed, the tires are fixed. I did find another leak in the coolant system that I have to fix, but it's not leaking bad enough that I can't drive it. So I'm just shoving coolant in it, so it's working. Yeah, FBI. I wasn't referring to them. I was referring to IRS, actually, because that's the 3-letter organization that I would see the biggest problem with when it comes to donations and accepting things for this network. Donations, supplies, etc. The IRS is the one that I'm not looking forward to dealing with. So that's really the primary reason to set up a nonprofit organization. It is not to put anything on grid, because the location still won't be. I mean, there's no reason for that whatsoever. And yeah, to protect myself and all the other people helping to set this up, such as Hutch Homestead, yeah, it's just necessary for us, especially with the new administration and all the ridiculous rules they are passing down already passing down. I was watching a video that was posted to my Discord group just a little while ago. The video was put up by CCI Remington Federal Ammo, and they were talking about what is causing their shortage. And basically what they claim is that it's just the increased demand. They said they have made more ammo in the last year than they ever have in their 94-year history. More ammo than ever last year. And they said they just can't keep up with the demand. And that is a possibility. Who is purchasing all of it is still a question. A lot of citizens like myself and you, I'm sure, are purchasing every time they can. But also, I think we are also seeing large numbers going into government agencies. So, yeah, that's where I think it's heading, is more of it's going to the government than anywhere else, because they are preparing to disarm people, and they need a lot of ammunition when people start fighting back. I really don't think they will do it immediately. I think it's going to be like most of the channels say, nitpicking here or there, taking a little bit of the freedoms away state by state. We're already seeing bills pop up in many different states. Florida comes to mind, where they're trying to pretty much ban anything semi-automatic, ban any mags that have more than 10 round capacity and things like this. And they put this out just days before, old Sleepy fell asleep at the wheel. And yeah, he sniffed some hair, he fell asleep. That's pretty much how I pictured the inauguration going. I didn't watch it, so if that's what happened, let me know, because that's the image I have in my mind. Him standing up there, addressing the nation, sniffing somebody's hair, and then just taking a nap. That's really it. Liz Rambo, thank you for the super chat. Calm before the storm. Continue to prep. I agree completely. Continue to prep. Oh, that was an interesting comment John on Prepper Nation had, that he read at the beginning of his premiere from the guy who said, how are the prepping channels going to survive now? I'll tell you how the prepping channels are going to survive now, because Biden, he's going to cause a lot more people to want to be preppers. He's going to wake more people up while he's asleep at the wheel than anyone prior to him ever has. I mean, Trump couldn't have done this good of a job at selling ammo and, waking people up. He couldn't have. This sleepy guy is going to do it so much better than anyone else ever has. Believe me, he's going to make everybody want to prep. Everybody's going to be stocking food when they see his goals and his agenda. Yeah, I mean, that's how channels like Prepper Nation, myself, Alaska Prepper, that's how we're all going to survive. We're going to have, old Sleepy to thank for it. So cheers to Sleepy for getting more subscribers over here. First, Waffen, thank you for the super chat. And you are right at Liz. Well, yeah, that's one way to respond. Thank you for that, though. Yeah, the sleepy guy, the hair sniffer. I'm not really sure which shirt to make, sleepy or sniffer. Maybe I'll make them both. I'm going to make a shirt, though. I'm going to put it on my Teespring account. The link for that is in the description. I do have a video, like I said, coming up on Patreon. I'm also going to post a video to my Rumble account. It'll be the last video I post to Rumble, the very last one. Basically, in the Rumble video, I'm going to announce all my secondary content going to Phoenix Social Video. You can find the link for that also in the description. Phoenix Social Video is where I am basically posting everything now. I'm going to put a link for it here in the chat. The sleepy sniffer. Well, I think he's the sniffing sleepy, or sniffing sleeper, because he sniffs before he sleeps, so he can't be sleepy and sniffing. I don't know. Yeah, you guys can figure that out. So anyway, I just posted in the chat the link for Phoenix Social Video for my particular channel I have over there. I'm going to start. Yeah, I was doing some content over on Rumble that was just for Rumble, and they started to censor and demonetize news type videos and things like that. So I moved over to Phoenix because they really don't. And it's a more friendly platform. It's more similar to YouTube than any other platform I've seen. It's a lot easier to work with. So yeah. Gropey Joe, Prepper Book Club. That's a good one. Yeah, Groper Joe. Although they used to say that about Trump too. What do you say? Grab him by the, never mind. Never mind. Good morning, Patriot Cowgirl. Good morning, JT. How's it going? Yep, during SHTF, Vicky, you got that right. During SHTF, wildlife will be wiped out quickly. It was almost exterminated during the Great Depression and took decades to recover. And during the Great Depression, we had a much smaller population count than what we currently do. So imagine, what's going to happen when it hits the fan right now and everybody starts trapping, hunting, and shooting everything that has four legs and walks by. I mean, even the random cats you see going down your street, those are going to be wiped out as well. Liz Rambo, thank you again for the super chat. Prepping channels will survive because they encourage us to prep and give us a platform and a voice to communicate. That is true, and that is another reason why I'm moving over to Phoenix Social Video, so that I can continue putting out content when they shut us down over here on YouTube. like they are trying to do already on other platforms such as Rumble. I didn't think Rumble was one of those types of platforms that would start censoring people, but it is. And I'm not going to hang out in a place that's just going to censor me. What's the point? I get enough censorship here on YouTube. I don't need more. I went to Rumble so that I could freely post content, because I can't even freely post content to Patreon. I am posting the video I'm going to post today on Patreon there, and it's going to be a test over on Phoenix Social Video to see if I can actually post unlisted videos there and post them onto Patreon like we do with YouTube, because most Patreon videos are posted on YouTube as unlisted, and then the link is shared to Patreon, and that's just how that usually works. So I'm going to try to set it up differently with a different platform to completely bypass YouTube altogether, because YouTube censors a lot of people. And like I said, the video that's going up here in probably about an hour after this live stream is about the vax and the side effects that we are seeing, the death count. I was reading that 55 people already passed away after taking it just in the United States, over 30 to 50 people in Norway, also the same effect. I'm seeing lots of videos of side effects that people are having, including the loss of all muscle control and uncontrolled spasms. I posted that video not too long ago. Well, I posted the link for it not too long ago, because anybody posting things like this is being shut down. You can also find me on MeWe. The link is in the description. I've completely removed the Facebook links out of my description. I've deleted my Twitter account. My Facebook account will be going the way of Twitter soon. I'm just trying to get everybody to move from Facebook to the MeWe group, because MeWe so far is a free platform where, you know, the First Amendment and freedom of speech still count. So yeah, as long as they continue with that, I will continue with them. So yeah. 196 people watching, 88 thumbs up. Thank you for that. And thank you, JT, for reminding me, because I forget about the thumbs up, the thumbs down. Yeah, I really wish they would just add a middle finger button and get it over with. They really need to. I think it's a needed thing, really. Yeah, there we go. I'm just letting somebody know. Somebody said they missed my stream over on MeWe, and I said, well, I'm still here. So, yeah, what are we, almost 30 minutes into this already? Coffee. Paul says many side effects are being ignored and not reported as side effects. Oh, I agree. I assume that number of 55 is way higher than that. I just assume that just because I don't believe anything the media says. So basically what you're going to see a lot of is people, you know, getting this shot and passing away, and it being wrote up as being, you know, the virus actually causing the death. That's what is most likely going to happen. So you're going to see an increasing numbers on the virus itself, but you know, they're going to still keep pushing this vax on everybody, because they really want you to have it. Klinger Christie, thank you for that. I will have to check that a little bit later, because that information it usually comes in probably about 30 minutes later. It's a little bit slower than the other platforms, but I still like it better, so it is definitely helpful. Let's see. Like I said, we're about 30 minutes into this. If anybody has any questions, put them in all caps. The Bug Out Network, we are still holding steady about 40 locations. When I started talking about doing it as a nonprofit organization, a lot of people started shying away from it. But the nonprofit organization doesn't change anything from the aspect of the users or the network locations. It's not going to change anything for you at all. It's still all going to be in the mail. There's nobody's locations are being reported to anybody. It's not working that way at all. This is just protection from, you know, the certain three-letter groups, three-letter government agencies, for myself and the others involved in the setup process. So really the only person that's going to be listed on there is just probably me, really. And yay for me. So I will definitely be keeping track of a couple of these locations near me on a sheet of paper and shove it somewhere where hopefully nobody finds it if they try to grab me or snatch me, because, you know, it could happen. It could happen. I just have this feeling somebody's been paying closer attention ever since we started setting up this network. So, yeah. Prepper 101 sent us over to say, what's up? What's up? Well, what's up? Well, it isn't old Sleepy Joe. He's not up. I'm sure somebody is holding him up if he's standing currently, but, you know, the guardsmen turning their backs to the Biden vehicle caravan. I didn't see any of the things that happened yesterday, but I agree. I assumed that a lot of military personnel are not blind or oblivious to what is going on. I assume that. So I assume that they're not too happy about it either. I also don't assume old Sleepy's going to be there too long. I really don't. I've seen a lot of talk in videos saying that Trump didn't hand over the nukes, what is it, the football they call it, the little package that has the red button in it, like the movies like to say, that he didn't turn it over. I've also heard lots of reports that in order for him to come back, he needed, old Sleepy into the office for some odd reason to, so everybody can see what a fraud all this is or something, blah, 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 blah. Prepper Wizard, I'm already on the radar. Already on the radar. When you start taking donations for certain things, you are automatically on the radar, and you have to report that to the IRS. And when you look up how a 501 works, you don't have to report everything you're doing. That's just how it works, similar to how a church works. It's just for my personal tax purposes and my personal protection against being sued or having, myself drug away by that certain government agency. That's really it. It does not change anything for the locations or the users. I'm not going around broadcasting, hey, this is where this is, this is where this is. No, it all comes to a centralized location, which will be my address. And that's where they're going to see that. And for that, I'm probably even going to start moving all of the location information that is coming to me, and we're going to move it over to Hutch more than likely, so that he can keep track of that aspect, so that if anybody does come looking for me, they won't have access to it. They just won't. So the whole purpose of the 501c is for my personal protection. And that's the main purpose. The other purpose behind it is obviously, like I said, having things in a more structured environment and having better organization, really. Because if we can, organize this a lot better, we can have, like I said in a previous video, we can set up the locations with uniform supply, so everybody has the same stuff. We can send people here and there to check on these things. So I'm not really sure which type of 501 it is. I really don't. I have somebody who is a very trusted friend helping me with this, and he's an expert in this type of thing. He also doesn't have access to the locations. Just to be clear on that, there's only two of us right now that has access to the locations, and that is myself and Hutch Homestead. Brian Douglas in Muncie. Yeah, I've been there a few times. Speaking of Indiana, there is a possibility by the beginning of March I might be relocating to Arkansas again. We've mentioned the possibility before, but beginning of the year with her job, it's actually we're waiting to see if she got it. If she gets the job, then off to Arkansas we go. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Anybody see in front of the Capitol where there were dozens of colonial hats on the ground while they kept going? Like I said, I didn't watch any of it. I did see some of Angry Prepper's live streams that he was doing from over there. It looked rather like a ghost town. I mean, all of DC just looked like it was empty to me. I didn't see a bunch of, patriots standing there telling everybody just how angry they were, which was a good thing. We didn't need that to happen. There was no point to it whatsoever. Let them just destroy themselves. Hey, look, there's the Angry Prepper right there. How's it going? Thank you for joining, Jason. Have some coffee. Sean, Arkansas would have more work, and the cost of living is a lot less. So for the same amount, or the same amount of space I have right now, I'd be paying half the price in Arkansas. And the job, it doubles the income. Her job will double the income. So yeah, it's really a better thing for me. And we would be probably about a 30-minute drive from the base of the Ozark Mountains, where a lot of preppers are going. Ozark Mountains are located in Arkansas and Missouri, somewhere right in that area. So, yeah, I think it's a better location personally. I think so, just because where I'm at right now, south of Indianapolis, I'm really just on the edge of the largest populated area in North America. Anywhere around the Great Lakes region of North America is the most densely populated area in all of North America. It could be said that it's some of the most dense populated area in the world, but then you have a look at China and never mind. But yeah, just getting as far away from that area as possible is a lot better for me personally. Prepper Book Club, I hope so as well. I would encourage anybody to pray for that for my benefit. Yeah, because that would definitely be very helpful. The cost of living is a lot lower and the income would be a lot higher. It would just, yeah, it would definitely help me to my goals of starting my flashlight type business, because I don't just plan to make these. I also have ideas on how to make these. So yeah, I'll definitely have to get Alaska Prepper involved in that because he's addicted to flashlights. So if I can manage to do one of these, I'll be sending Alaska Prepper a few to do giveaways on his channel to boost, sales and recognition, free advertising. That's pretty much why everybody else does it with major YouTube channels. It's free advertising for them, really. I mean, you give somebody a couple of flashlights and they review them and give a couple away. That's, the cheapest advertising you can get, because this is a through night that I have in my pocket, and most through nights that are of this quality, this is an older model. This is the TC15. These are about $60, and it doesn't cost them $60 to make these things. So if you give 60 and 60 $120 worth of flashlights to somebody and get thousands of people to see that and see the review on it, then you're getting advertising for a lot less. Because if you've ever researched advertising for like a Google platform or any of these other things, or even YouTube and the commercials they pop up for everybody, it's expensive. I mean, we're talking $500-$600 to get the same amount of views as you get from one YouTube channel doing a review. So yeah, as long as you have a good product, it basically is the way to go there. So yeah. Anybody have any more questions? Please put them in all caps. I will do my best to see them and answer them. I don't get to see all the comments because I read slow. Scott Douglas Shields, hello from Illinois. Well, hello from Indiana. I am the Fort Myers, Florida area on vacation. How is it down in Florida? I assume the weather is better than it is here. My phone says it's currently 37 degrees. Supposed to be in the 40s today, which is odd for this time of year, but hey. Northwood Cheryl, your feed is buffering. I think your internet connection may be the cause of that. Prepper Book Club will sell them in my shop on Bartertown. Well, yeah, thank you for that. I will definitely contact you when I have prototypes and I'm ready for that process. I am going to be putting up a Kickstarter page for it to help with the cost of setup as soon as I have the prototype. Well, not the prototype, but as soon as I have the digital blueprint made. The hat is going to be the first goal, and then a couple of the standard flashlights are going to be the next goal. Yeah, I'm just going to trust in him to help me get this going, because just to be quite honest about it, I prayed about my path, my goal, where I should take not only my family, myself, but also the channel and what I need to do for my family and myself. And not very long after that, and I'd already been thinking about flashlights and things like this, because I only have a couple of flashlights. I need more. So that's one reason. But I'd already been thinking about the flashlight things. And then somebody sent me a link to a guy. It was a sermon, really. And he was talking about, it was called the Flashlight Sermon. And I was like, are you serious? Oh, yeah, that was just how that, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try it. So as soon as I get the stimulus check, I'm going to have that digital blueprint made up and then start, pricing companies to make prototypes and to actually produce them for me. And that's all how a lot of companies get started. So yeah. The lost product. I'm kicking and screaming. This is depressing. I feel like Trump is gone forever. Well, he's not gone at all. I mean, he went to Florida and took a vacation. He's just, yeah. And I heard a lot of talk, and we're going to continue to hear this talk for several months to come, that he's going to come back and he's going to do something. I mean, people just like the guy that much that they're still holding on to this hope that for some reason he's going to show up and magically save us all. But I got news for you guys. One man cannot make that much of a difference. He really can't. You know, he did a lot of good things while he was there. I agree. The wall, for one thing, I think that was a very good thing. A lot of the things with jobs and taxes and all these things that he tried to do, getting rid of Obamacare or the mandate so that you had to pay a certain amount to have insurance. If you didn't, blah, 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 they could fine you. That crap was retarded. And I'm so glad he got rid of that. And old Sleepy's already, thinking about bringing it back. So, yeah, we have a lot to look forward to, don't we, with old Sleepy in there, or the sniffer, as I prefer to call him, the sniffer. Yeah, the guy's a sniffer. It's really weird when he does it too. I've seen a lot of videos of the guy sniffing hair. It's just crazy. Klinger, I really hope that Trump's son does run, but I don't think he has the ability to do so currently with how the government is operating. They wouldn't allow it to happen. They just won't. I mean, look at what they did in this election. Look at what they did. We all know what they did. And if you talk about it too much here on YouTube, they ban you. So I won't outright say it just because. But yeah, I'll say it over on the other platform, but I'm not going to outright say it here. While you're here, Jason, Angry Prepper, check out Phoenix Social Video. My link for it's in the description. It's a new YouTube style platform. It's much more user friendly. Videos upload almost at about the same speed as you can upload them to YouTube. It has it's basically a copy, but it looks a little different, but it's basically a copy. Rumble has been censoring my videos and demonetizing news videos, so I moved over to Phoenix Social Video. Not to be confused with the Phoenix Social Media. I'm not sure if those are affiliated or not, but I know the social media thing has a different logo, so I don't think they're the same. So please click the link in the description to find the correct one. As far as I can tell, they don't have an app, but you can still view it on a browser, on a phone, on a tablet, Apple, Android, whatever you use, as well as computers, obviously. So, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Everyone's still showing up. We almost have 200 in the chat and 150 thumbs up. I assume the other 50 are thumbs down. I can't see the thumbs down while I'm doing the live for some reason. I have to load it on another page to do that. So that's just weird. It really is. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think the nonprofits are a 501c3. I think, like I said, I have somebody helping me with this because I'm definitely not an expert on this. I do have a business account opened up. It's actually I forget which type they call it, but I was using it for the tax ID so I could go into distribution centers and restaurant supply stores, which I did a video of that about a year ago. It's on the channel. So, yeah, if you have a tax ID, you can go into restaurant and supply stores that supply restaurants and grocery stores with bulk foods. And yeah, that's really the main reason I have the tax ID, which I got from doing the whatever type of business license it was. And I just named it something random and did it for that particular reason. And yeah, you can find a lot of bulk food at these supply stores. I mean, a lot of bulk food. And it's not just rice and beans. I mean, everything is bulk. You can find pallets of bread that are sold by the pallet. You can find, just it makes Costco look like a grocery store. I mean, it really does. It's just, yeah. And going in there is a lot, I haven't been in there in the last several months just due to funds, really, because it is a little more expensive than your Costco, but it's cheaper than your grocery stores and your restaurants because that's where they get their supplies also. So Costco, it's a little bit more on certain items, not on all of the items, but yeah, bulk food is the way to go if you are, especially if you're just starting out with prepping. If you're just starting out with prepping, I highly suggest rice and beans. A lot of people say, well, I don't like beans or I don't like rice. Well, if you're hungry enough, you'll like anything. So, don't put your nose up at it. So, but also at supply stores like that, you can get bulk bags of quinoa. And that is, if you don't know what it is, look it up. It's high in protein. It's kind of like a rice in a noodle, kind of. They're very little, tiny, weird looking things. You can cook it just like rice. You can cook it just like noodles. And, just having some buttered quinoa, it tastes good. It really does. We make it with broccoli and sometimes with chicken broth or something like that. So, yeah. The link, I think I still have it on the thing to post it. Yeah, there we go. Phoenix social video link is up in the chat again. I'm the guy in yellow. Yay, I get to be yellow. I wish I could change that color. I don't like yellow. Yellow is like one of my least favorite colors. So I wish I could make it red or blue, or I guess everybody with a wrench is blue. So I would need to make it red. I need to be red. That would be better. All right, let me scroll up here in the comments. I missed something, probably missed something. I always miss something. I try to read all the comments. I really do, but I just can't ever get to them. Talked about communications lately. We're still trying to make the communications uniform with the bug out network. So a lot of people are using CBs. A lot of people are using ham radios. I have both. I have scanners, CBs, ham radios. I have, everything I need, but not everybody has, the funds to go and do this. So one of the primary goals with accepting donations and things like that through the 501c is to make sure that the radio communications at all the network locations are uniform. So everybody has the same equipment and everybody's using the same equipment. It makes it a lot easier to troubleshoot, to set up. It makes sure everybody's communications work smoothly because everybody is using the same thing. And it's just an easier way to go. I do food orders from a restaurant at work. Everything spiked. A case of tomatoes normally $20, now 40. Same with most items we use. Well, thank you, sleepy old Joe. Yeah. No, I don't miss driving a truck. I don't. I really don't like it, to be honest with you. It really sets off my road rage. If you think angry prepper is angry, see me driving a truck. I'll show you angry. Because I've had to pull over because I've wanted to run people over before. Literally crush their car in front of me because they were doing such. When you drive through Chicago in a semi truck, it's a fight. You are fighting to not run people over the entire time you're there. It's a horrible thing to have to do. It's a very stressful thing to have to do. And another thing I don't miss about it is being so far away. On an average day, I was 200 to 300 miles from my home. And yeah, I always carry the bag with me. I call it a bug out bag, but I set it up as a get home bag. They both work the same. They really do. So yeah. Brian Douglas, we're not sure exactly what channels yet because we're not sure if everybody's using CB. CB has 40 channels, 1 through 40. Truck drivers are typically on channel 19, and most of the other channels are seldom used. There are some that are used here or there, but for the most part, CB is mostly forgotten. Not even trucks don't even come standard with CB jacks anymore. So you can't even just get a brand new semi truck and plug a CB into it. You have to actually go through some extra steps to wire it in, and then you have to mount your own antenna. And it's just a big headache at this point because they really don't want truck drivers communicating that way and basically, I think it was back in the late 80s, early 90s, they outlawed convoys in the United States. Trucks used to run in convoys to help protect themselves, not only from people hijacking loads, but also to protect themselves from the state trooper that was going to write them a ticket for speeding down the highway. So what they have done after they outlawed that, they also have governed each individual semi-truck company has a different speed of their trucks for the most part. Some trucks go 63 miles an hour and that's it. Some trucks can do 70 miles an hour. So, and they've made it laws where you have to govern the trucks. So now they can't run in convoys. They've taken away the CBs, so they can't speak to each other. If truck drivers start, uniting, truck drivers control this country. For anybody who doesn't know, the trucks control the country. if you shut down the trucks, then nobody has anything. I mean, everything you own touched a truck at one point, unless you built it yourself. But even then, the supplies, if you went and cut down a tree, the saw, the axe, whatever you use to cut down a tree. So everything has to do with trucks, everything. Yeah, all the truckers, they have a phone now, but the phone is really, that's just for communicating back at home. They don't communicate with each other like they used to do with CBs. And a lot of older truck drivers usually do. A lot of truck drivers that have two brain cells knocking around in their heads still do. They still use CBs because it's a very useful thing, even, in a personal vehicle. When you're driving down the road, if you have a CB in your vehicle, or even a handheld CB like I have sitting next to me, actually. There we go. It doesn't have its batteries in it right now, but this is a handheld CB, and this thing's probably about 12 years old. It's so old, it has a regular old headphone jack on it. It does take, I believe it's 8 AA batteries, which I don't have any in there right now. You can plug an external antenna into it, so you don't have to unscrew this one, but you can still plug in an antenna right here and wire it outside of your vehicle to get better reception. These things aren't very powerful, so you can't talk very far with them, but they do work really well. And like I said, this one's a GE model, and it is at least 12 years old, and I have 2 of these. One of them's in the other vehicle, shoved under the seat because we don't use it that often. You can find power cords for these things still. This, like I said, this one's older. It has a power jack. You can plug it into the 12 volt port in your vehicle. And it's a good option for anybody who doesn't want to try to wire a base station type of CB into their car or truck or whatever you drive. So highly recommend mobile CBs. You can find them on Amazon. I don't have a brand to recommend to you. I will look more into it and do a video on it here in a day or two. I'm also going to do a video on other radio options that I have. This is my scanner. This one always stays on my desk. The antenna for this thing needs replaced because it doesn't work very well. But you got to be careful when you are replacing antennas for certain things, especially ham radios that go to multiple frequencies, such as VHF, UHF frequencies, higher and lower bands, because the antenna is specific to certain frequencies. Certain antennas only broadcast and receive from certain frequencies, and you need to have an antenna to work with the frequencies that you're using, or multiple antennas for some of these devices like your Baofangs. If you have multiple antennas for some of the newer ones that are coming out to receive certain channels. So this one, I need about 3 different antennas because this thing has everything. I mean, I can scan pretty much every frequency you can pick up with this thing. And this is a Uniden Bearcat 7.5 XLT, and it runs off of AA batteries as well, just 2 of them. So, and I have some Amazon Basics rechargeables in this one. This thing does have a charge port on the side, but I'll give a better review of it at a later video. I'm going to do a comms video at some point soon. I've been meaning to do that, but I got busy with other things. So, let's see, DC, what do we do if they shut down the grid and we haven't finished organizing? Well, that's what we're trying to set up now. We're trying to set up, a way to communicate other than the grid. And that's one of the reasons for the mail. But if, everything shuts down and we can't communicate, the only way you're going to be able to get to these places is on foot. So one suggestion with the 501c or the nonprofit organization is that we invest in a horse farm. Quite literally was one of the suggestions I got, was invest in a horse farm. Teach people to ride the horses from one location to the other and do it like old style Pony Express, passing mail and just, trying to do that. The question for that is, how long would it take them to figure that out and shut that down? Because if people are riding horses across the country, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fences. So, yeah, if you're riding a horse across the country, you're going to need to bring some wire cutters, some bolt cutters, and yeah, some protection, because people aren't going to like you cutting their fences either. So, pretty much, yeah, this one's too old to have weather radio, but my Cobra base station CB does have weather radio, and I actually have that thing sitting on the floor because I think the fuse is blown in it. I'm going to wire up my base station to my vehicle. I have something to plug into the 12-volt port, but unfortunately my CB was too powerful to work that way. So I have to, either get a smaller CB or wire it directly into my vehicle, which I'm considering doing that. And I might just do that here in a day or two. Might do it today, being that it's blue sky, sunny. I don't see a cloud in the sky. I have a camera outside that I can see on my desk here. So channel 9 has always been the emergency channel if you have a problem, but I don't think it's widely used anymore. I just, everybody has a cell phone, so they're really done away with CB for the most part. So you can find out by looking it up or just going out to a highway and turning on channel 9 and seeing. But I wouldn't rely on any kind of emergency communication, especially if you're talking about from government or local agencies. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know because they think it would cause mass panic. So yeah, I just wouldn't rely on it whatsoever. Your best source of news is social media right now, or just communicating with each other in whatever way is possible if the grid goes down. Now, there's a lot of talk about it going down soon, but there's always a lot of talk about that. Just like, every 4 years, Texas tries to break away from the United States. They talk about it every 4 years. I lived in Texas for about 10 years, so believe me, I know. They talk about it every 4 years. Every time the election comes around, Texas is trying to remove themselves from the United States. They did it once before. It caused a civil war. So, I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. You would have to have a lot of people that are very well trained, ready to defend the area. So, yeah. Eastern Tennessee is a very beautiful area. Very beautiful area. I've driven through Eastern Tennessee so many times I can't even remember them all. So, yeah. Some states it is completely legal to ride the horse on the highways. Check your local laws. Hoot owl, thank you for that. I believe that means state highways, not interstate highways. Interstate highways have signs, and most interstate highways, you don't want to be riding anything but a very fast vehicle on, or you will get run over, and it will not be a good thing for you at all. So, yeah, I highly recommend if you're going to ride on the highway, make sure there's just no traffic or there's a large shoulder to ride on. They always tell you to go, if you're on a bicycle, to go with traffic. I never do that. I always have the traffic coming at me so I can see what's about to run me over, because people veer onto the shoulder constantly while they're playing on these phones, and just, they're looking down at their phone and they're weaving back and forth like they've been drinking too much. So I highly recommend, if you're going to be on a highway, on foot, on a bicycle, or on a horse, to be on the opposite side so the traffic is coming toward you so you can see it, because you'll get run over from behind. And yeah, that's just my recommendation for that. So at what point would we honestly care about laws? I don't care about them now. Carter's creations, when it comes to things like the Second Amendment, First Amendment, when they tell me I can't say this somewhere, I tell them where to shove it. When they tell me that I need a certain license to carry my protection tools with me, my license is the Second Amendment. It's just, I don't care now. I just don't. I mean, what are they going to do? Lock me away and give me free food and stick needles in my arm? I mean, oh well. Oh well. Yeah, I'm really not too concerned about blackouts either. Klinger, I've always wanted to visit Australia. If I ever, left my particular country and visited somewhere, it was always wanted to go to Australia. I really have. So, yeah. But I've heard of a lot of bad things going on right now with lockdowns and people being arrested just for not wearing masks. And yeah, I probably would get in a fight pretty quickly and be locked up with the rest of them. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd start an Australian revolution. I'd be the crazy American in the jail saying, we won't take it no more. I don't know. But, who knows? Well, I'll have to stop by and see what kind of coffee you got if I visit. So, yeah, I assume there's coffee. There better be coffee. I'm not going if there's no coffee. I brewed this coffee at just before John's premiere, and it's about half full now, and it's still hot. Well, you know, I've known a lot of people in Canada, and they told me not to visit Canada. This I got recently. I used it for the first time today. This is a Stanley French press thermos type thing, and I got it just the other day. And you can drink out of it. It has the drinking lid, and it has the French press net. I'm not going to pull it out of there because I used it to brew the coffee I'm drinking in the other cup. The only issue I found with it is this little hole right here was just not giving me enough coffee fast enough, so I poured it into this. So, yeah. Cleaner says the only thing we have to fight with are our fist, not a lot of pew-pews, lots of coffee. Homestead Oss and I are neighbors. Well, I know they got some, what's John calling boomsticks over at Homestead Oss. I seen them on a video just the other day from them. So, yeah, I know they got a few. And we talked about it when they were on my live stream, too. So, yeah, it's definitely, there are a few around. I can tell you how to get around that. I really could. It's very easy to make one. I mean, it's really easy to make one. But finding the ammunition for it, I think, would be the hardest part. You would need some good old black powder and some lead balls. So, yeah, but it can be done. It can be done. Sheila Smith says, when people get hungry, horse meat will look yummy. Just saying. Well, that's happened throughout history. I mean, yeah, that's happened a lot of times throughout history. A lot of, what do they call it? Mutton. I think they call it mutton. I think. Maybe I got that confused. But horse is not kosher. And I do stick to the diet that is presented to us in Leviticus 11 of the Bible. I do stick to that diet. So I will not eat a horse or a squirrel or a rabbit or a pig. Just won't. I used to. I've eaten squirrel, rabbit, and pig before, but not anymore. I have changed my ways. Mutton is sheep. Okay, I got it wrong. I can't remember the names of things. I can't even remember my own name most days. That's why I just go by Grim, because it's 4 letters and I can spell it. So, yeah. Heartland Survival, good morning. Good morning. I'm just about done with this live stream, but hey, good morning anyway. And everybody go check out Heartland Survival if you haven't done so already. It was an interesting chat you had on the live stream the other day. I was watching. I was there, yeah. You can live like a king in other countries. I know if you go down to South America and you have $1,000 a month, you can live like you are one of the richest people in the area. So, you know, something to consider. I'm not going, though. I'm just not. Susie Q, 1 year on I-75 through Tennessee. I followed a truck for hours and hours driving or during an ice storm in the darkness. I was mindful to stay out of his mirrors. He waved me to pass him. I stayed put. Yeah, I know why he was waving for you to pass, because it's very dangerous for you to be following a truck. It's very, very dangerous. And the reason behind why it's very dangerous is because you cannot see what's going on in front of him. And if something happens in front of him and he lays on his brakes and starts to jackknife and slide, it's a very good possibility that you'll run into him. And if you run into the back of a truck, they have DOT bumpers now on the back of all trailers, but they're not that foolproof. They're just welded on. Before the DOT bumpers, cars would just go right up underneath the back of a trailer and pretty much decapitate anybody who did it, because it would take off the front of the top of the car. And yeah. Scotty Hale, is beef kosher? Yes, beef is, bison is, anything with a split hoof with a 4-chambered stomach that chews grass is kosher. Completely split hoof. So goat, lamb, bison, cow, yeah, pretty much all large creatures. Deer are kosher. Yeah, so there's a lot of things you can eat, and it's actually a scientific fact. Science says it, that if you switch to a kosher diet, you will see great health benefits. Yes, deer are kosher. Deer have a split hoof, 4-chambered stomach, and chew grass, so they are very kosher. So are moose, elk, pretty much large game. All large game is good for you. Cows, even cows. Yeah. Liz Rambo, in my local area, I can buy bison at the local grocery store at Kroger. I believe it's found in Walmart. And I tell you, the bison burger is the best burger I've ever had. Grilled bison burger, it tastes better than beef. It really does. Just making, just anything that you would use beef for, like tacos, things like that. Anything you would use beef for, you can substitute bison because it has a very similar consistency. Yeah, I have said that many times. When you're hungry, you'll eat anything. But yeah, from a biblical standpoint, not anymore. I won't. It is better to die of starvation than to go against the law of my creator, in my opinion. Now, that is my opinion. And I could point out stories from, I believe it's the book of Daniel, where 3 men decided they were not going to follow the law of the king. Instead, they were going to follow the law of the father. And they were put in a furnace and walked right back out of it like they were, chilling on a beach. So, yeah. Trust in God first. You are so late. Trust, you are so late. Hutch has been missing you this whole time. He got sad when you weren't here. He got sad. Yeah. Empanadas. Empanadas sound good. I have a friend from Puerto Rico, and he has given us the empanada recipe he uses, which is actually a Cuban recipe, oddly enough. And yeah, when you put bison in those empanadas, they are awesome. Now I'm hungry. It's about lunchtime. All right, I'm going to end this here in just a couple of minutes. So any one or two last questions, put them in all caps. I will do my best to see them and answer them, and then I will be on my way because the coffee is running out here. Good morning. Good morning to everyone showing up when I'm about to end. Native Americans considered bison meat the best. They preferred mule to beef. Yeah, well, beef is It's That's all I got to say about it. When you start trying other meats besides beef and you move away from beef a lot, you will find that everything else tastes better because beef is just too overprocessed, basically. Gray Man Prepping. Have a great day, you as well. And thank you for having me on your live stream the other day. That was a lot of fun. We will have to do it again for sure. Shorty just finished the first 4 books in the Borrowed World series. Yeah, happy to recommend it. I do need to do, I was going to do a review or I guess a talk about the second book. We did the talk about the first book. It's just I haven't got around it. Yeah. Chicken is kosher. Prepper journey. If you look at Leviticus 11, there's actually a list of birds that are not. Chicken is not on it. Chicken, turkey are all good to go. I believe quail, I believe pheasant, things like that are still good. Basically, any birds of prey is what it frowns against. So birds of prey being, crows or buzzards or vultures or whatever. Arkansas Living, how's it going? Gizmo is sleeping for now. He's going to be sorry he missed it. Yeah, he is. He can rewatch it later. I'll make sure to put a bunch of commercials on it just for Gizmo. No, I won't. I usually don't do that. I usually put 1 or 2 on a live stream because you can control that manually, but if you just let the YouTube do it, they'll put like 50 in an hour video. It's annoying. So I don't do that. So anyway. Oh, there's Hutch. Hutch woke up when Trust showed up. James, my next live stream is going to be Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to have We the People Prepping on 6 p.m. Eastern time Sunday. And then I have, I think, 2 more live stream interviews. I know 6 Shooter's going to be on next week sometime. Yeah, I can't remember who else. I mean, I'm bad at remembering names, but I got like 2 or 3 of these scheduled for next week. I'm going to have, quite a few interviews because I opened the platform for YouTube channels if they want to come on just to chat and try to boost their subscriber count, because I really think all the prepping and survival channels need to support each other now more than ever. Now more than ever, because they're going to start censoring us even more than they already have. If you thought censorship was bad when Trump was still there, wait until old Sleepy wakes up and starts pressing buttons. Then we're all SOL. And if you don't know what SOL means, just type it into Google. It'll tell you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call it here because it's almost lunchtime and the coffee's running out. So thank you all for being here. Remember to check me out on Phoenix Social Video. I'm going to post a link for it one more time right there in the chat. And yeah, that's where a lot of my content will be going. I am posting a Patreon video here in about an hour once I go over or get done editing it. I have to edit the video because, yeah, it has a extra information, I suppose. But all right, I will see everybody later. Yeah, Marie, you got that right. SOL. Thank you for defining that for everyone who may not have known. So I hope everybody has a very blessed day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.